Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Wilson, Ag Weather and Climate Field Specialist for Ohio State University Extension and the State Climatologist of Ohio, here to bring you a weather update for Battle for the Belt. Here we are in late August. We're inching ever closer to harvest season here with some activities already getting underway and certainly a lot to talk about in the weather realm when it comes to our conditions for our crops out there across the state. Kind of looking back, it's been a little while since we've had this video for you here with Battle for the Belt. So looking at June and July temperatures, really fourth warmest June through July on record for average temperatures. If you go back to 1895, again, fourth warmest June and July on record. A lot of that because of overnight lows, just a tremendous amount of warmth during the overnight, driven strongly by really high humidity levels. We had many locations that had at least 66% of their time hourly observations with a dew point of 65 degrees Fahrenheit or greater, and about 35% of the time at 70 degrees Fahrenheit or greater in terms of dew point. So just really, really soupy, humid conditions there throughout much of the summer. If you joined us at the end of May, we were really on the short side of growing degree day accumulations for April and May. So most of the state was running below average, anywhere from 50 to 100 growing degree day units below average. In late August, we sit anywhere from 100 to 300 growing degree days ahead of average. So we had a really rapid growing degree day accumulation period this summer during the months of June, July, and into the first part of August. Summer precipitation's been pretty extreme as well. Eighth wettest April through July in Ohio's record. If you look at places like Pickaway County, kind of the bullseye there, more than 30 inches of rain for that 4-month period. A lot of just tremendous amount of rainfall here throughout the growing season in our areas along and generally south of 70 and east of 71. But a couple of dry pockets up there that have really started to stand out here lately as well. And you can see that in the last 30 days worth of precipitation. We've got areas in south central Ohio that have had less than a half inch pretty much during the month of August. And so that's leading to some very rapidly dry or flash drying conditions out there. I'll stop short of saying drought. I don't think we've reached drought levels for much of the state, but certainly dry conditions that are providing some late season hindrance here to some of the crops. And you can see just percentage of normal here over the last 30 days. We're talking anywhere from 0 to maybe 15% of normal for what we see during the month. A couple of wet pockets stand out: Mercer, Northern Dark. Also, if you get up close to Richland, Ashland counties there, and then up close to Lake Erie, those have been a bit above average over the last 30 days, but overall it's been pretty dry. So our soil moisture is certainly responding, drying soils, especially across northwest Ohio, southeast and east central Ohio as well. And that's led to the U.S. Drought Monitor adding some abnormally dry depiction here to a few locations. Again, northwest, east central being sort of the longer term, with more flashiness, flash dry conditions starting to creep in across southern Ohio. And we'll see how those expand here over the next couple of weeks. This week, we've got a big pattern shift. We've got northerly wind flow and very, very much cooler temperatures here with daytime highs over the next several days, generally in the upper 60s to low to maybe mid 70s. Tomorrow, Wednesday morning here, August 27th, we're going to be waking up with overnight lows really in the mid 40s. There could be some low 40s across northwest Ohio as well. Would not be surprised to see some low 40s, but generally 40s here for several nights, with our daytime highs reaching back into the low 70s here for Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. And not much rainfall. We'll see a little bit of rain across, kind of lake effect driven thunderstorms. Could have some water spouts across the lake area this week. But other than that, not a lot of rainfall expected, as then high pressure really sits and anchors for much of the weekend and into the Labor Day weekend here, with pretty pleasant conditions for Labor Day, all things considered. So not a lot of precipitation this week, generally less than 1/10 of an inch for most of Ohio. We could get upwards of a ½ inch, maybe a little isolated higher amounts of parts of Lorain, Lake, Ashtabula, Geauga counties, where some of those thunderstorms do occur. Our 8 to 14 day outlook, this is for the first week of September, looking pretty average here. We generally see highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, with overnight lows around 60 or so. Not really strong probabilities either way for above or below normal temperatures here in the Ohio Valley. And precip about normal. Again, we're very dry here in the shorter term. trending back closer to average. But late August into September, we start drying off a bit anyway, with only about 6/10 to 7/10 of an inch of rain per week is kind of the norm. The latest Climate Prediction Center outlook for September through November, so our harvest season here looks pretty favorable. Plenty of opportunities for warmth, I think. Overall, warmer than average conditions strongly likely. Not a lot of guidance or strong signals in terms of the precip. We'll watch the tropics, of course. Anytime we get into September, October, we can see tropical activity bring heavy rainfall. But right now, long-term and large signals do not indicate any major challenges with harvest. I would say a little bit of the dry conditions. We'll probably have to watch for the combine and field fires. That's pretty typical for this time of the year, but overall things look pretty good for the upcoming season. So with that, thank you for joining the Battle for the Belt weather update for this week, and we will see you next time. Thanks.